that up. Get that ready.
Is that the retro stuff?
Yeah, get that ready. This is something. I kind of want to hear what they say. Maybe I was being a little bit harsh on it too. Who knows?
No. But you know what though? It's like I said, dude.
You think I was being a little harsh? What a dick.
I don't think you are.
Oh, here, hold on.
Okay, well, you don't think I was being a dick. Okay, I guess I thought I was
think
being
you're
a
being
dick.
too harsh.
Alright.
Oh, we got Nick Esteva Comedy coming up, so he might be doing some stuff for us. Hey, Nick. What's up, buddy? Do you have a quick comedy thing? We got like
Chime him in,
I
man.
don't know, like a 2-minute joke or something, Star Wars related, really quick.
Chime him in.
I would love to hear something because I know he's been working on some really good material. If you got like 2 minutes, I'd love to hear it. He's
Can
gonna
you
do it.
have him do a Yoda?
Dude,
Oh, he could do Yoda, he could
Jabba the
do
Hutt,
Chewie, he could do it all.
does
So
everybody.
if you're available right now, I have a comedian that's in Chile. I'm trying to get him out here right now. He's one of the funniest guys in the world. I just want to hear one joke that he just written. I want to hear if it's funny. I've been waiting for him to pull it. No, he's amazing. He's one of the funniest guys ever. So I'm still not getting anything. We're also talking about the retro line.
Yeah,
We have Adam right over here, and we got freaking Rick over here. We got obviously my ugly face and this handsome guy's face.
yeah.
So we'll get to that in just a sec.
Oh, here you go.
It's not freaking working.
So it's
Whatever.
Vintage Star Wars collector.
Why did the Nerf herder cross the road? Why? There you go. It says I joined. There we go.
There you go.
I'm back in.
Why did the Nerf herder get across the road?
Oh,
I have no
man.
idea. Marissa De Hoyos joined. What's up?
The anticipation.
What's going on?
The Star Wars jokes. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, I was trying to get Nick up there, but I don't think he's jumping in right now. But that's fine. So
Buzz Creations.
what do? I started talking shit about the retro line, and yeah, I'm getting kind of weird about the whole thing. But
Well, hey, dude, like I said, they made the weapons way too similar.
about this.
We're trying to find someone right now that
This is the thing.
maybe did a float test and
it's all too similar. It's like it's annoying.
too
It's
much.
just, I mean, I don't think we needed that. I don't know.
no. But then they're gonna say, well, how'd you want it to look? Like,
Well, why couldn't you? Okay, this is something that I've always thought
make
was
it
just
an
pretty cool.
obvious? Okay, make it a mold
Exactly.
with no detail.
Okay.
Just that, you know what I mean? So you could right away tell, dude, you don't have to float. You don't have to.
I
drop
can't really
something.
say something like in specific of this because it was something that was an idea that we worked on some certain toy line a while back. But something was cool was just like the double telescoping lightsaber, which I thought was cool. It's like, okay, if we make certain figures with limited articulation and we do stuff, what is something that makes it really cool? It's like, what can we do that modernizes it but also is a throwback to the vintage line? And I thought, okay, what if there's something that goes here, but a figure shoots out of like a lightsaber shoots out of the hand, as opposed to it being that hangs out and does it that way. But it's actually, there's just so many ideas that were created that we worked on, and to see this, it's just we're bringing that retro line back, and it's just like, why not incorporate something and just try to, I don't know, move forward.
Okay, you ready for this? You ready
I
for
don't know.
this?
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if you guys are feeling me with it.
Okay, here you go. Ringmaster69 says all of the weapons passed the float test, even when pushed underwater. They went out of their fucking way
push it, exactly.
because modern shit doesn't float. They went out of their way, fucking whatever, whip that shit with air so the plastic fucking floats, dude. That's a dick move, dude.
I said it before we ended the last video.
That's a dick move. That's a super dick move. Hasbro's not Kenner. Stop already.
I like the
Stop.
way the Tarkin looks. I think it looks kind of cool. I think that they half-assed it just a little bit. You know what I
I'm
mean?
down with that character because he's like the evilest motherfucker,
No.
and they never made him. But they did the Power of the Force too. That when
They
he
never,
first came out.
they never made him. I mean, the vintage line needs to be the vintage line. Leave it at that. It is
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I just don't like the idea now that everybody's buying these fucking figures. And it is, listen, if you're taking pictures of them, it is a little bit hard to tell what is what online when you're taking a quick swoop. I can tell. There's a couple I'm like, what the fuck? But yes, after some examinations, I can tell.
Okay. So on the other shoulder, the guy's saying, "Yeah, but if I want to do a Jedi like a Jabba fucking photo shoot, I'm not gonna spend hundreds and hundreds of bucks for a loose, man-to-man, this, that."
When I go to swap meets.
Oh shit.
I go to swap meets now, and you see a bunch of toys in a bucket, and you see like Galactic Heroes. You're like, oh, this is like a 2000, era. And then you look and you see McDonald's toys. You see certain figures. You're like, oh, when they redid the G.I. Joe figures, I thought that was stupid also. And I was like, oh, okay, they redid that. I was like, what? I don't know the G.I. Joe guys feel. Are there any G.I. Joe guys here that cared about that?
Oh, I don't think they
I
like
don't know
it.
if they're here.
I don't think it was cool, whatever. But it gives other people a chance to collect them. It gives kids. it gives people a chance to collect these toys that they never had, and like it's like, hey, you know, if you're a father, it's like my daughters and stuff like that.
Put them on the wall and shit.
It's like, you know, I'm like, hey, this is what I had when I was a kid. This is what I did. But it's also like, well, here are the ones I had when I was a kid. Right. You know what I mean? These are actually them. It's a little different, but I could understand some of the significance of why it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's just kind of everything was fine before then.
I have a question.
You know what I mean?
Go.
So,
yeah, squeeze it.
which figures are they rolling out with first?
Basically, the first 12 almost.
Okay, so obviously, so my thing is like Oh,
so and a new one, and a new one that they never made, which is Tarkin, but in that style.
So that's kind of where I was going with this. So I could see where if the only knowledge that you have right now is that they're only doing the original 12, but they have to like I could see it from a novelty collector standpoint where if they decide to do like Rey and Kylo in that format.
Yes, and it's interesting. It's an interesting thing, and they are going to do that. And it's not just the first 12. They're going to do it in waves. They're going to do Star Wars, and they'll do some Empire. And
but you know,
they're
right
going
now
to mix it out.
12,
well, yeah, for right now,
so
that's the kicker of the line is to bring those. Well, it's not the
maybe
actual.
They're trying
12.
to ease guys like you into it.
Yeah,
yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Another thing too is like they did the whole labeling the putting Kenner on everything, and that still didn't sell Snokes. That still didn't sell Rays. So I think now Hasbro's saying, you know what?
You should have been born sooner.
There's Hasbro saying, shit, you know what? If we're gonna do a Kenner throwback,
here's a guy. Here's a guy who is Juice Man. We're talking about the retro line.
It's gonna sell.
Yeah.
What is he saying?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with the 96.
Can I say? Well, I would say if they came out with a vintage Kylo looking figure, because I really like Kylo Ren. I think he's kind of a cool character. I would probably pick it up, and I already have like a bunch of Kylo Black Series figures, like 3 or 4 different ones.
Well, I can totally see that being a possibility.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
with the vinyl case.
It makes sense. The goal for them, the strategic reason is they're going to bring back the retro line. They're going to bring back some of the best figures that the original line is, the most nostalgic ones. You know, it's part of the first 12, and then the next goal from that is they're going to go ahead and they're going to move to other movie lines. Like, yes, The Force Awakens will be one. That'll probably be the first one they tackle, and then it'll make sense for them to do some more from like Jedi. You know, more like we'll do some Ewoks, we'll do some other stuff, and they're going to go back and they're going to do some Last Jedi, and then they're going to do the new movie, Episode 9. We will probably see one of these retro line figures in the style of Kylo Ren or something for like a Comic-Con exclusive.
You know what? You know what I would say?
It just makes sense from a toy perspective. Like, I work in the industry, I've seen this, and it makes sense for them.
I would say this: like they're gonna make like the worn out card back Kenner look and put. All, you know, Kylo, put Rey, put Poe, put everybody.
Holiday special figures I'm down with, though.
The retro sticker, I think that'll be on 96. A retro sticker, because they've done like throwback style, haven't they? And
yeah, I mean, this is the other thing too. Like with the vintage collection, they're very like there's similarities with it. You know, like cardbacks are. I think the cardbacks are almost spot on with those ones. They're different, but they look very similar. But you know, it's not confusing to the eye. These ones are confusing the cardbacks. After looking at them, if you're a collector, you know that they're not real. They have the date stamp.
They're like super weather.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. That's one thing that kind of caught me off guard too. Is why did they print the weathering on there?
It's to make it look like, hey, these figures are.
They've been in the attic.
No, but it's
they've been in the attic.
Let it get there on its own. Let it get there on its own. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of the weapons.
I haven't heard anyone. Like say, that they fucked up. I thought about it, and I was like, dude, because the whole
I don't like that either.
The nice thing was that it was all black, dark, like just.
Right.
This is another thing.
So I collect Black Series figures, but I only collect minted box Black Series figures. Yeah. So it's like if it's dinged corner, I won't do that. So why would they print the dinged corner?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
It's just
Here's a question.
Kenner Kylo still won't be as good as. Well,
here's a question, guys. Like, who do you guys really think are gonna buy these?
No, I mean,
everybody's like honestly,
everybody's buying.
Like vintage collectors really want these.
Dude, a lot of people do.
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm saying like who was like
it's a nostalgia for certain people, and I understand it. It's just I don't get it.
You know what? That's something like I think maybe Buzz Creation said. That's something that you're gonna go spend your money on. What, $65 for the first 6, and let your kid open it, and like in a way you're like, fuck, that's cool. Your kid's like, it's a toy, I don't care, whatever. But it's more for like, I'm letting my son open. It feels good as a dad,
that nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, passing it down.
Yeah,
you know? Why? Because dude, the kid could be into video games and not give a shit about toys, but it's like I never got a chance.
But like,
here you go.
But as a collector, if you buy them and you actually don't open them.
There's a million people that are doing the same thing.
Doesn't that seem like that's not going to be worth anything?
It's not. It's
no,
not.
they're really not. I think
Like,
it's only, to be honest, I think it's to appease people that, because they're gonna do the new line. They're gonna move forward with the new figure. Exactly.
And
that's what I don't like
example,
about it, though.
And like, let's say for example, when they try to make them rare by saying, "Oh, there's one per case," well, everyone's taking that one and putting it away, putting in you know what I mean? So even a limited run, that's why you'll see like Comic-Con exclusive shit at Frankenstein, because they made so many that
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's you can't make it rare. Rare is because we only made a few. Nobody bought it. You know what I mean? No one's buying it. Let's say the retro line took a shit and nobody bought it. And then
behind it, like, dude, when the original Star Wars stuff came out, they had no idea if it was going to be anything, right? But it was just this love of making these toys. Doesn't that mean anything? Like
that's like a sci-fi.
That's like, isn't that like a big
thing,
difference?
right?
Now they're just like reslacking. Like we'll just do it again.
Well, they're tapping in on that nostalgia factor again.
I mean,
I'll tell you, as a Black Series collector, I got the Kylo Ren SDCC Comic-Con 2016 exclusive. Yeah. You can literally go on eBay right now and pay probably less. I think I paid 40 plus tax. You can probably find it for 40 flat, if not even less, if not even maybe less.
But that's cool.
That's my point,
like
though.
Different. At least they're doing something different, and there's
okay. So here's how it works. So it's like, okay, the first guy that buys it, he pays a premium. The next guy's not going to pay a premium. He's like, it's not worth it. It's all over eBay.
If you wait,
you know
buy
what I
your
mean?
time, you can get it for a regular price. You don't need to pay these crazy markups.
Dude, the only way it's that I see that you could make money on this stuff is if you buy it today, sell it tonight.
Right away.
Flip it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because, oh shit, dude, the Jay and Silent Bob Funko, my cousin Renee and I were talking about it, they go for like $50 to $100 each. Silent Bob and Jay, like, who would have fucking thought? I don't know. I mean, I like the characters.
How much the Power Ranger ones go for?
No.
Dude, crazy.
Like hundreds.
Like the original Power Ranger ones, hundreds, dude.
Funko
Pop collectors are a different breed.
Yeah.
Dude.
But it goes to say like, whoa, no matter what, it's
that's a thing.
Yeah, I think you threw up. I think you threw up like that. It's you can't predict what's going to be worth money.
Funko people are a different breed.
They're a different breed.
The highlight of this entire.
They have 3 eyes, 4 ears.
So wait, so the consensus here is that you're not going to collect it. You're not. No,
God, no.
I'm not going to collect it.
No.
A few.
You know what? I'll tell you what.
The Tarkin.
I have Kenner cash. I don't have Hasbro cash.
Honestly,
I like that. No Hasbro cash. Yeah, we don't have.
I would buy the characters.
Kiss the finger.
No, it's smelling it. You came out of the bathroom right now. I smell my Kenner.
Listen, we had the retro line come back in 1995, and I thought that was cool.
But I wouldn't make a mission to collect.
Right? Or 96 was it?
96, 97?
I don't think it's a necessity, but I also do think the way that the toys are being made, that they were losing more detail, they were losing more paint deco as the years progressed since the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. So it does make sense to do a callback, and it does make it cheaper to do a different line. So for Hasbro's point of view, it kind of, in a way, is more cost efficient to make these sort of action figures again than it was to create something that has more articulation like Black Series. So it also puts it as a collector, hey, guess what? We're going to be making something that has less articulation, less money, but why not make it the way it used to be? And it also puts people into a different collecting environment where it's like, we can get everybody to rebuy these toys again with less articulation. But if you think about it from a toy marketing point of view, which it makes more sense to limit the articulation, cheaper. It's brilliant. Cheaper paint deco, cheaper accessory, and everything like that. But it gets everybody to recollect the line again, which they're familiar with. But then we can introduce new characters like Kylo Ren, Rey, and other characters like that, and give them the exact same treatment, where it costs the company a lot cheaper to make it. Same with packaging, same with design, same with deco, same with everything like that. So it's more cost efficient for a company like this to make those sort of action figures. So in a sense, it's brilliant for them, but it's also something where it actually drives people like us into the sense where it's like, well, once you collect one, you're going to get them all.
What if they finally spoke to the right focus group and it's in their head now, fuck, let's do a 96 run, only retro packaging. Mm-hmm. Because if you introduce a Snoke retro one, the whole fucking line's worth shit. You know what I mean?
Let me get you on this. What was the Celebration Hasbro exclusive for this celebration? What packaging was it? But it was a Black Series figures. It was a Darth Maul they had already released in the Episode 1 packaging. And was it Obi-Wan in brand new one?
It was Obi-Wan and Maul on holographic.
But was Obi-Wan in a new mold? I don't know. I don't remember.
I think that it was a new face sculpt.
But it brings you back to 1999 Kenner, which was on the packaging.
The mall packaging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that they did. So if you think about it, they're tapping the nostalgia era right now, where we're at that age now, where it's kind. It makes sense. There's a formula.
There's a podcast. It's a World Class Bullshitters. The guy talks about going to like conventions and stuff, and then he says, "You see the old Star Wars shit." He goes, "And nostalgia tax, like a $400 complete AT-AT in a box, but $400. Like he's like, nah, dude." But then he just goes through booth and booth and booth full of Star Wars shit, dude. Like dude, the guys bring a lot of shit. They take home a lot of shit.
It's fucking nuts what's going on with it, and especially situations like that. And yeah, it's right now. This is nostalgia front. Same thing that's going on with movies.
The nostalgia tax, they call it. You
Yeah.
pay through the fucking
There you
nose,
go.
dude.
So it makes sense, and it also is cost efficient for companies to do that. A lot of companies are looking for ways to even limit their packaging, so it's cheaper.
Are they? Did they release them in order of Kenner release?
I don't know, because if it was, then there's a certain cereal kind of that's on
It's
top. Right?
Luke, Leia.
Well, it would be if there's an early bird, it'd be
Luke.
In order of release is Luke, Leia.
Is it R2?
Is it R2 and then Chewie? I believe?
yeah.
Yeah,
That
I think
is
that
the
is.
early bird.
That's an early bird, and then from there. But I wonder. I didn't even fucking. I didn't even take a look to see if they're doing that, they're gonna do a fucking 96 run.
Absolutely, I can see that happening. in the
And
future.
imagine if these cocksuckers start doing like mailaways and Kenner baggies. And,
Oh, they will.
Fuck.
I don't think of it as something bad. I also think of it as a way to keep the toy industry happy and to keep things going on where there's movement. But I do think there are certain things that they should tackle that are more important. They should take, in for instance, like certain figures that they have already and change it. Like one of the coolest things I saw that came out of that was the Black Series. You saw that. The Black Series Boba Fett with the deco of the vintage line. That was cool.
Oh,
You saw
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
I
that.
saw that.
I love that.
I was like, I was more than.
I like that because it's something interesting to me. It's a new figure, but with the deco, and I think that's more of a callback, and I think that's more original than having to reproduce the original figures and do it that way.
That one though. Now here's the thing though.
Are you talking about the 40th anniversary line?
No, they had it's a Boba Fett modern sculpt, but painted with the old.
with the
The
vintage
Black Series.
packaging.
The Kenner-
I like
Okay,
that.
okay.
I like
Okay,
that
but
idea.
you know what though? You figure how many dudes in lab coats are working at Hasbro. I'll make you one of those tonight. You know,
I think I agree.
Melt that plastic.
I agree.
No, I'll paint the.
You just have to
fucking
paint
formula. It looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like the guy said, "Fuck, just paint it
Yeah, just
Kenner."
paint it.
I'm
It's
like,
a paint job I
fucking
don't
brilliant.
have to do.
It's I just don't, and I
Okay.
love Boba Fett. That your Vader is my Boba Fett, and I was like, didn't feel it. No
So-
Kenner goosebumps.
Here,
No
this is
Star
something
Wars
I feel
goosebumps.
really weird about because I always wanted the Rocket Fire Fett that Hasbro put out because I thought it was a cool little thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, this is fucking rad. They're just gonna do it finally. You know, it's a throwback to the original one. And I got it. My buddy Leighton got me one. Tassie. I was so excited. He's like, dude, I got you one.
Cool.
And I was so excited. I was like, dude, that's awesome. You know what I mean? It's like it's a cool callback. It's not a fucking line. It's just a one-off figure. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's pretty badass. I
picked
have
one
this.
up.
But it's like, now there's a whole line of this shit, and it's like, but I think about this. What did they do with that figure that made it so different? They corrected the rocket fire. It's a brand new rocket. You can differentiate that figure from anything.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But now it's like, okay, why are we still making the farm boy Luke with the yellow saber? Why not change it, Hasbro, and make it blue?
It's supposed to be blue.
Like, why not? Yeah, exactly.
I
Or
have
why
an
not?
answer.
And why not
Because
make it?
they're tapping your nostalgia.
Exactly. Why not make
Yeah.
it a double telescoping blue lightsaber?
At that point,
Yeah.
fuck
It's like,
it.
what the
That's
fuck?
brilliant. Whoa, okay.
Whoa, so
whoa,
that pulls
hey,
all the way
hey,
back
whoa,
into the
whoa,
hand?
whoa. That's brilliant, dude. Can you imagine like a fucking cool? Might as well.
I mean, why not even throw like a freaking poncho and a hat accessory on it, but with the same fabric that you guys, like a vinyl
Yeah.
poncho to
Because
make it so
that's
when
not
he's
the way
going.
it was originally packed, and they're tapping.
But
your
why not tap in that and correct the nostalgia a little
Make
bit
it a
so
little
it
better.
fits?
Because
Make it
You know what I
that would
different.
mean?
be the right way
Make
to
it
do
different.
That's how I feel about it.
Make
Why
it
not make the
better.
vinyl
Make it
cape?
better.
Because that's not
That would be
Make
sick.
it different.
Like when they make the Jawa, why not make it with the vinyl cape again, but this time the eyes light, like the eyes light up
Yeah,
or something
eyes-
like that. So
yeah.
it makes it so different. And I'm sure it would be, but the thing is, they're going for a cost-efficient way to make it these
The
fucking
same fucking way.
cheap-ass figures.
Yeah.
Hey, how much do these?
So people
what
buy
are
it.
they, $12?
I don't know.
Like
11,
the vinyl?
probably like $11.99, $12. You're probably right. But it's just
Okay, you know what? Let's see. Hey,
$12.99.
Wookie Scalps, you want to jump on here with us and talk about the retro line? I see you're there, man. It'd be cool to have you on. Get your opinion on this.
I absolutely believe Star Wars is a thing made by Star Wars people, but it is interesting that as toy people who are in this industry, you would think to explore that, and it's kind of the same thing as like it's a toy. No matter what are you going to do with this toy? There's so many different versions of this toy. We're going to come up with it. The person who came up with, let's bring back the vintage line. Well, who came up with that sticker?
Yeah.
Who came up with those little simple ideas? It's like, we're not going to correct these things because it's not cost efficient for a company to do that. If they're going to make it the way they know it to attract it so that people keep going with that
we got a bite. Wookie Scalp said, "Give me a sec."
What's that?
So we're gonna have him jump on and talk about.
Jump on?
Yeah, dude, this guy's all about the modern stuff. Like he like the same as myself. I used to collect the modern line, but all original trilogy figures, and that's how I was able to get like the Spider Droid and Jabba's Palace, all the aliens that Kenner never made. You know, it's not necessarily that I want them in a Kenner style. It's just I had them. They're fucking awesome. It's like, oh, shit. Eventually I sold all of them. He took a big chunk of them too because he works with kids, and he's always showing how he like takes the toys to school. You know, so it's super cool, and all the kids like fucking go nuts. I was like, dude, I want you to have these, and you know. So we'll see. Hopefully, you can come on here right now and see if.
Coach Evans is asking,
Yeah,
what would
what?
you want to see that was never made?
I would love to see things that actually weren't made. Okay, so this is the part where it
Kind
was
of what
like
you were just saying.
the Tarkin was interesting for me. It was interesting, but it wasn't enough to buy. But it was also kind of like a cool idea. Maybe if they,
Why
you
do
know,
think they
unreleased
chose
figures.
Tarkin? Why do you think they chose Tarkin of all the figures?
Well, that was a central figure
okay,
they
the
never
thing
made.
was-
Well,
Yeah.
it's very still common because of Rogue One, and it's something that's
But
worth
the
the
thing-
bar.
the-
It's very
the whole-
nostalgia that was never made.
Well, the whole thing with Kenner was they didn't want to make. It's like making a Hitler figure. Like the guy that blew up a planet, you don't want to make him into a figure.
Yeah, why didn't they ever make him?
That's why.
Really?
That's why. Yeah, because he's the guy that said blow up a fucking
Yeah,
planet.
that
He
guy.
He kind of
killed.
was. He was
He blew up a
darker than
planet.
Vader. Really.
So they didn't want to have an action
Yeah.
figure of him because he's like a total just evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they never made him. And now when they did the second part of the Force runs, they're like, oh, we're gonna give you a target. Oh fuck! And what? 20 years later, we're giving you a target. Oh shit! You know, people lose their mind because. That's the main reason why they never made a
You know,
target.
they should make that guy that Vader choked out. Remember the guy in the conference room? Like, some of those guys.
Oh yeah,
Dude, they have
like
it.
a crazy
They
guy.
have, and his
In the
last
Black
name's
Series
like
line,
Wolf
they
or
had,
some shit.
they made a bunch of the officers that
Yeah,
got shot down by
dude, the guys that were at the round table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They-
Oh man, the
they
guy
had-
with the white, like
You know,
off-white
I'll tell
kinda-
you though, when they made Tarkin in the Black Series line, people did go nuts.
I
It was
went
a
nuts,
really
yeah.
hard figure.
I went
Yeah,
nuts.
they-
I had to
they
get
came
him.
with the-
cheekbones right
they
there.
did a
He
really
is
good
so
job, and he
good.
came with the Pro Droid.
He's so
Like,
fucking good.
What else can you? I mean,
He's so good.
and it comes with little stands, so you can do.
Last year I went for like my favorite Black Series figures. I was like, I need to take a break for a little bit
I
for
remember you were
vintage,
going
and I was
hard
like,
on
I was
Black
going for
Series.
the ones I really
Yeah,
wanted,
you did.
and I went for him. He was like one of the ones I really wanted.
I
and I
remember you
got.
sent
The
pictures
bounty
you
hunters.
got.
You got your bounty hunters too.
Yeah, I had to go for the bounty hunters. There were certain ones I had to
You
go
wanted
for.
all like the officer dudes, didn't you? Weren't you?
I still do. They come up
Yeah,
with another
the best,
option.
yeah.
They did like Monty
Dude,
and
that was my
Piet
favorite, dude.
and all those
You know,
guys.
and
Out of the new
dude,
movies, I had to collect Rogue One. I love Rogue One.
Yeah.
I had to collect those
You know
figures.
what? To go back to Coach Evans' question, one thing that kind of frustrated me about the Black Series line the most is okay. So my top is Darth Vader, is my favorite. Second is Admiral Akbar, and they did an Admiral Akbar figure, but it was only a Force Awakens figure.
Yeah.
And then they did a
Oh.
3.75
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi figure, but they never did a 6-inch Admiral Akbar
Return of the Jedi.
figure.
Not yet.
He's Wayne
And that's
Brown,
all
right?
and by himself, the only way to get the Akbar figure was to buy him with
Does
the.
he have the
it
little?
was a 2-pack.
Does he have the little thing?
No,
Like a
he,
koi?
Well, here's the thing.
they kind of hung off a little bit,
It-
but the
it's
best
going
one is
to
he had an
happen.
articulated jaw. You could move his jaw.
Oh, shit.
wow, really?
Like so, I have
That's pretty cool.
the TFA version. But God,
That ruined.
if anybody from Hasbro is listening, fucking make them.
I'm pretty sure if
Return of
anybody
the
from
Jedi
Hasbro was
version.
listening, they're gonna try to kill me.
Well, I actually
They'd
work
be like, yeah,
across.
I know,
so
these
my
guys.
office, my current office, is directly across the street from Hasbro.
Why don't you hold the sign
Yeah,
up against the
yeah.
window that
I
says,
eat there.
Hey,
and
at
drink
the
Algeria
first
every
order,
day.
Friday
dude,
stream.
write some crazy printout, put it on the window across, and eventually they're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hasbro, fix this.
Okay, so how
Contact
about
me,
this?
Adam.
how about this? I'll make you a deal. If I do that, can we print out the pictures and show them on the live stream next week?
Of course.
Me standing in front of the giant Mr. Potato Head they have in the complex.
I swear to God. I swear on my life.
I will do it. I'll pull my pants down. I'll do it.
That's so.
You just want to pull your pants down because you love pulling your
Give
pants
me
down.
an excuse to pull my pants down.
You'll do that just because that's who you are. I'm totally up for that. If you want to do something like that, yes. But
Make a 6-inch Akbar. Make
it. It'll happen. It will happen. It will happen. It'll probably be within the next 10 years though, because they have to make all that stuff. They still haven't made.
That was my answer for your question,
dude. And
6-inch.
They're gonna hit the retro shit so hard, all the original trilogy stuff, because that's what sells, man.
It's so cheap to make these.
Exactly.
It's
Dude,
so
I'm telling
cheap.
You can want to make every different figure, but you have to look at what's gonna sell, dude. And what sells? These motherfuckers.
See, but you know what? Actually, Coach Evans made a good point. He said Wedge and Biggs. If they're gonna tap nostalgia, they'll go ahead and literally
give me a fucking pork.
Here's
with
Wedge and Biggs. All you have to do is take that Luke pilot sculpt,
change the
head,
throw a mustache.
Done. No, but they'll go ahead and they'll give me an Admiral Holdo figure in 3 different fucking outfits.
All you need to do for freaking Porkins is get a Gamorrean guard and switch the head.
That would be insane.
Porkins would no, but you see what I mean?
Switch that with a Gamorrean guard.
But look see when I said Wedge and Biggs, look at your guys' reactions. That's what I'm saying. If they're gonna tap nostalgia, do it fucking right.
They gotta have the two chicks in the bar. Tonica,
Tonica
sisters or something.
Oh yeah,
the cantina.
Oh
yeah,
the
like
toilets.
Yeah,
they're smoking.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no. Oh okay.
Yeah,
No,
the
yeah,
Tonica,
those
Tonica, something like
I'm
that.
sorry, I thought you were talking about from Return.
They had
even some of the creatures in there.
They had a.
All right, we're gonna be patching you through right now, good friend.
Is he on?
This should be an interesting
Here we
conversation.
go. That's it.
Wookiee scalps.
We are connecting. Let's see if it actually connects.
The sisters, yes, Cerritos.
That would be. What's the name of the sisters?
I don't know.
I forgot. Tonica. Yo!
Yeah! Gentlemen, how's it
The
going?
man, the myth, the legend.
What are you in an attic?
Dude, are you in
You're
like a
kind.
freaking attic where you torture people? You make them see your toys before you murder them?
Look
He
at
puts
that.
the lotion on the skin.
Nothing as scary as Tony's basement, though.
That is very true. That is very true.
I don't even want to know how many gimps are in there.
Well, there's gonna be like about 3 once this is done, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna walk this way. You can do the math. Yeah, let me see if I can turn this up just a little bit. Give me one second.
Yeah. Hold on, let me, there we go. There we go. It's not as dungeon-like if I turn around.
Yes.
That's
There we go.
Okay.
Alright, there you go.
There you go. That's close enough. This is as good as it's gonna get, guys. I'm renovating this room, so this is terrible. How's it going?
Good,
It's
good.
awesome,
We're
man.
talking about the retro line. Have you bought any? Have you checked them out? What's your opinion?
Nah, you know what? We all have our reasons. We're all pretty like-minded in that way. I think Tony made a good point when he said that Hasbro should have just fixed what was wrong with the original stuff. And why not make it different? Why not make it better, right? Similar. I don't like the quote-unquote aesthetic of all that stuff. The, I don't know, that crazy, what is it? The distressed edges? I don't know.
Yeah.
The
Adam
thick-
didn't like that. Adam was
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that angers me the most about the new line is the distressed edges.
Right? I thought it was weird that they made the sticker removable. They should have just saved a couple bucks and left the sticker off. That was a little weird, right? They could have done things differently. Isn't that Hasbro's way, though, right?
Yeah,
Hasbro
I mean,
is kind of. I don't know if you caught that down there. I really do believe it. I'm not saying it just to be a jerk because I know I say stuff all the time, but I really don't think. I don't think Star Wars people are working at Hasbro, and I know,
I don't think so either anymore.
I get it, there's a big old like Mr. Steve fan club, and that, that's cool, whatever. He made the barge for the people, and that was great. But maybe other than that guy, I mean, who else really gets it, It's just kind of weird. They do a lot of weird stuff, even with the modern line, like Romeo was saying. There's just some weird stuff that I noticed with that. People are sick of the repacks and all that, which is
You
crazy. And
know,
isn't this kind of repack mania, right?
this this is
And
another
they
thing
repack the
too.
worst figures.
Repacks
Oh,
repacks are something that have to
that's
happen
how it
though.
goes until I die.
Because tooling for toys and like the way like the toy industry works is like it's expensive to make a toy. It really is, and then you have to bet your money on something. But they also want to be able to produce something that's going to last a while. So if it's a new character, a new figure, it costs a lot of money for a company to produce that and put it out, to make the card, to get the rights, to pay for the license to do it. Because yes, they do have the master license, but it also costs money to produce this sort of figure. But it also comes to the point of like every little piece of that costs a shit ton of money to assemble and put together. So when you go to factory and you know you're going to be able to move like a certain amount of figures, you're going to make a shit ton of extra. So that way, when it comes to it, you're going to have a stock of it, and then you can have the factories repack them. So it does make sense to me in certain things like that, how a company can stay together and they can do that. But it also is upsetting when, as far as collectors and stuff, when we're out there and we're trying to get new characters, we're trying to get new stuff, and we want new stuff, and we're trying to figure out ways to make it better, but we hardly get that, and then we see the same figure that we wanted 60 years ago, then it's being repacked throughout the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? It's annoying as hell. It is annoying, but it does make sense to a certain extent to keep pushing that for a company to come in to try to bring other collectors in it. But it's not necessarily I agree with, because as far as toy companies are and how well the toy company is doing, like Hasbro, for instance, I do feel that certain lines do start to slack and their budgets start to slack as well, and they don't necessarily need to. So, I mean, if you can go see other lines that the company makes where everything's just brand new, it just keeps being pushed out.
Yeah.
But Star
Yeah,
Wars
true,
is getting stuck with certain
Yeah.
things. So it's just, there's kind of like two almost sides to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think from seeing these figures being made, like these ones for now, they could have actually done something better for figures that are lines that they've worked on, as far as like the Black Series. Like they could have said, they could have halted this and worked on more with that.
Fix what's out there.
You
now.
know what I mean? As opposed to putting something out there that's completely not new, but it's a way cheaper outlet for them
To make
to
money,
charge
yeah,
fucking
dude.
$12
Yeah.
for an action figure. So if you think about it, a Black Series figure is $20, and how much articulation is that? Whatever, and you get that fucking that box with the packaging. I love the Black Series packages. You can still pop them in when it's done. But now with these ones right here, you're pulling back a card in a blister that is super slim. It's way cheaper than the Black Series packaging by far, and the amount of articulation, dude, it's retarded. It's so fucking retarded. Yeah.
Also, if you're good characters,
we all know we collect them.
You need that box room. Like one of the things that Black Series does do right is they do sometimes listen to the customers. Like a lot of the people said, we want a Grievous, and God forbid it took them forever, but they finally did a Grievous. But you need that room to package it. You can't fit 4 lightsabers and a giant figure in a bubble.
Yeah.
Very true. It's very true, and there's a lot of things with those lines that should have been corrected, but at this point, I do think with this line, there's stuff that should have been corrected as well. They could have taken advantage of. They could have made things a little bit more different to make it more appealing to people like us. Yeah. But it's also just a major waste, in my opinion. They're going to make a shit ton of money for a little while until they start the other movie lines, like, Revenge of the Sith. They'll do, Force Awakens, start pulling everything together. Eventually, we'll have the Jar Jar vintage, which is good. I'm probably going to, that's the only one I'm going to buy.
I'll keep Hasbro in business with that.
I'm probably going to buy that one. I'm not going to kid you. I'll probably buy that one.
People love Jar Jar. I've discovered that people love the Jar Jar. You know what? Hey, everyone has their, whatever about Star Wars. And I totally get that. I'm all about companies staying in the black, right? And because you work for a toy company, so I totally get that. There's some things that they're gonna do. I mean that people might not understand, or they might say, "Oh man, I just saw that figure." But you're right. Repacks do have to happen. I just think there's better ways to re-release stuff. There's creative ways to do it to get appealing to everyone. Like you guys said, little tweaks, things like that, or I think Romeo said hey. For the dad that's getting them for his kid, he's just going to rip them up. All right, cool, but, there's other things they could have done to kind of maybe appeal to everyone, And again, they're trying to move units, right? They're trying to just sell, and I get that part of it. But, I don't know. I don't know what it was, other than maybe just we've kind of seen it all before. Like you guys said, in 95 or whatever, that 4-pack or whatever that was released, I mean, all right, You know, we've seen it kind of already. So it's kind of weird. Like,
Exactly.
they would do it. I don't know.
And, you know, it's also something that comes down to this, which is kind of funny. It's like your favorite band in the world. You want to support your favorite band. You know what I mean? Hasbro's our favorite brand in the game. They took over Kenner. They put all this stuff out, and we still want to support them because no matter what, they're doing some cool stuff here and there. So
I got you.
You have to support something that you love, someone that you care about. Hasbro is one of those, especially for all of us. So fuck yeah, we support them, we do it, but there's just little things here and there. It's like Weezer, you know what I mean? They're fucking terrible, but we gotta support them here and there. But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. It's a little throw between me and him, but it's also kind of like that. It's kind of like that even with Hasbro. There's like some hidden misses with it as far as the Star Wars line goes. But I mean, they also own how many other lines in the toy aisles that you walk by? It's ridiculous, and it's still always great to support the company that's always taking care of us. But it's also something where I just feel this was a miss, and they should have corrected certain things in a way.
But then, I mean, every company is you have to listen to the people that buy your product, and it seems like for a while they didn't give a shit.
No,
there
was
absolutely. You know what I mean? It was like
absolutely that.
Maybe they're just throwing you guys a bone.
And you know what? And a lot of people are biting.
Yeah.
Okay, vintage Star Wars collector not buying the retro line. I know a lot of people did buy them, but
shut the fuck up.
they're not gonna make that much.
It's like when
They're not gonna
U2
make that much
released
on that shit,
their
That's gonna be a
greatest hit
limited
album.
run.
After all those years, U2 released their greatest hit album. I forget what it was, and they threw the sweetest thing, but a different rendition of it.
Yep.
That's what the retro line is for us right now.
Yeah.
It's a band, Hasbro's the band, and they're throwing these tracks at us again from a different, but it's like a remix. You know what I mean? When Pseudoscience Tendencies remixed, what was it? I forget the name of their fucking first album. But anyways, they did that, and it's kind of what we're doing. We're dealing with stuff like that. It's almost equivalent to it, and it's a way for them to stay relevant, but it's also a way to just keep their money flow go with them. And I don't know, but
you're not getting the retro. You're not getting the retro. You're not getting. I'm not. Are you getting the retro?
Nah, I have it, right? We have it. And you guys know me. I don't even have to have on-card stuff, so I've got it. My question to you is, do all four of you have barges in that room? All of you guys, did you guys all buy barges?
No, I think Tony's.
We have the one.
Romeo. That's our barge.
It's a split custody.
Yeah.
All right. I remember that, right? I remember you guys pressing it.
Did you get one? Did you get one?
No, you know what? It's funny that you say that. I think the barge was one of the hits, their recent hits, anyways.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it because, in my opinion, again, this is just a business thing. I didn't appreciate crowdfunding for a company that has stock, right? I thought that was kind of a cheap thing. I thought it was cheap, man. I really did. And as much as I loved it and would have wanted it, maybe it's because, I'm in business and, I went to business school, but it's like, I thought that was kind of cheap, man, and then to make people wait a whole year. But I get
all
it.
hype.
I get it. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I think it was smart. I do think it was smart. I can't disagree with any of that. But based on principle, I didn't buy it because they pulled like a Kickstarter deal, which, come on, it's Hasbro.
Check this out. Look I mean, from what we know, it worked. It was awesome. But can you imagine the flip? What if they didn't hit that mark? Where would they be now? They're like, fuck, we can't even.
They would have.
Can you imagine? So it would have.
See, that was the thing. They own so much capital and everything that, in my mind, it was always they're going to make that mark no matter what, because one, they can produce as many as they want. They have the money to back it, whatever they want. For them, that was nothing. Honestly, it's really nothing for Hasbro to do that. 2, Star Wars is going to sell regardless. 3, do you understand? We don't know exactly how many were actually really made.
No.
For sure.
No.
For sure.
So,
we're not
all
getting
those.
Yeah, each one is numbered. And as far as toy companies go, they're always designer proofs. There are always, certain proofs and stuff like that. But there's so many more made than what it says.
Of course.
We all know that.
You know what, though? So check it out. So
they say
it was
5,000?
8,000 something were sold.
15,000.
You know
But
what,
the thing was, so it was going, then it just took a shit, and then they said, oh, you're going to get the yak face.
Yeah.
It went up, and then it just tapered off.
Yeah.
And somebody was saying that, like, oh, dude, they opened it up for, like, retailers and, like, big orders, not just,
no. Well, my
I'm
buddy
buying
works
one.
at Entertainment Earth as a salesman,
and they bought them.
He said, dude, they had a lot.
You know,
I
so
bet you if you
that's
go
what I
to-
heard, because
I
it
bet
went
you if you
from
go on the website,
almost,
yeah.
even after they said they're going to have the yak face,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, that was a good hit, but then it didn't make it, and then all of a sudden, like the night before, which is when I got it.
They made it. Yeah, they made the mark.
It over, way over.
You know what'll be
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah.
is if they do it again.
That's even without
Well,
overseas
but they said they weren't.
sales at all. They didn't
I
even
did
have
not believe
Canada
that.
sales or Europe.
Well, check this out. They already fucking talked some shit. Okay,
They
said
will
that-
do it again.
They
I
said,
guarantee
well,
it.
they did, but check it out.
Yeah.
They said, okay, so they made the ones for the initial run. Then out of nowhere, they're like, well, we're opening it up for Europe and other countries. Like, well, wait a minute. You made it seem like this was the run.
Yeah,
Well,
the
this
run. Like,
This is what's going to happen. There's going to be
if
a
I go to
different Jabba the Hutt.
HasbroDE.com,
It won't be a yak face.
I'm
It'll be a
in the
Nick
same,
2 this time.
pool as
And-
Rumble on Hasbro.com.
Right.
There'll be an extra
You know what I
additional
mean?
accessory.
It
And
wasn't
then it makes
that.
it
So I
different.
was already like,
Yep.
So it was the
And
No
then the
point.
packaging
It won't
will
be
be
point
from the
this
first
time.
they
packaging.
did a European release. Now,
Yeah.
look at, like I said, dude, I saw it and I followed it. They did a European release where they said, okay, dude, we're opening it up to countries in Europe to fucking buy the sail bar. But I was like, dude, I thought it was one run. You know what I mean? Like,
It's interesting how stuff like this works, but it's also the same thing that happens when you go to Comic Con. What happens when you go to Comic Con with an exclusive?
Right.
You'll be able to buy it on the website a couple days later for a little bit, and then you'll be able to buy it the same figure, but in different packaging.
Yep.
But
Yep.
missing an accessory or with a different accessory. So
yeah, I don't
what makes that different from the barge? So they gave us a special yak face. They gave us a Jabba the Hutt inside, a certain deco. So when the next time it's released, what's going to happen? Are we going to get a Pop Saber R2 that shoots the R2, the lightsaber out? Is that going to be the next Power of the Force card?
No.
I'm just saying, but these are the possibilities that differentiate that, and there might
I
be a
would say
different
this.
blood splat on it.
Out of all the accessories, the R2 Pop Saber, from what I've seen, is the most repro. The super most repro is the R2 Pop-Up Saber, where out of 10 ads, 9 are repro, and now they're gonna fucking probably go make that, dude.
I'm just saying right now,
Jesus.
it is the next version of this will be the retro line figures on top of it. It makes sense.
So wait, what do you think
Yeah.
is going to be their next big project? The next big project?
If they do another project like this, I can see them doing the Executor. I can see them doing the bridge with the bounty hunters, but all vintage. So buy the
That would be cool.
bridge or the Executor, like the entire thing inside, that same size. Vader's in there. All the bounties or hunters are in there.
They're gonna release
Yeah.
the playset.
Star Destroyer, why not?
They're gonna release
Yeah,
the playset. Like it's not even a playset. It's just like 2-3 walls. Like just,
Yeah, it's like cardboard and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like shit.
And that's what Kenner used to do back in the day. You know what I mean? But fuck, I love that. I mean, it's
but think
just,
about it, if you don't have
well,
if you don't have that, and all you have is like a 3-wall, you can't really
They
get
do
down
some
and
cool
job
shit.
us some
They do
shit.
some cool
You
shit
know?
like that with the packaging.
there'll be deals that Hasbro will make with other manufacturers to still produce them on the down low so people can still get them for a higher rate. It's how it is. It's how it works.
Dude,
Why do people find toys at the fucking dollar store when they were at freaking Target originally? You know what I mean? Or why do you find certain action figures
Dude,
that were so hard to find, but all of a sudden you're finding it
Yeah.
at Kohl's? It's
dude,
the same
they're
thing.
blacks.
Yeah.
Some black series are $5 at 5 and below.
There you go.
Like,
Where were all
Right.
of those Rogue One figures we couldn't find? But how come they're all there? Same
Dollar store. How about those Revens for like $5 or $10 that everyone?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember how hard those were to find?
Man, I had never even seen one, and the next thing you know, people are just posting shelves of them at wherever. I mean,
You know why?
For
Because
dirt
there's so much back stock on some of this stuff where they say, how can we get this cheaper and how can we get rid of this so we can get a better margin at a cheaper deal? And that's how it works.
yeah.
end of the day.
And a lot of people don't understand that. If they just wait, a lot of this stuff just pops up in like these second and third waves because, I mean,
Right.
yeah, we all can agree distribution is pretty weird for these retailers or whatever.
And to be honest with you, it's not even the manufacturer's fault that it's like
Nope.
this. A lot of it's
Nope.
because the store doesn't have room. You can't tell me one store right now that has room for a barge.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think Target, and you know what's funny about that too? Manufacturers have to pay for that rental space.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So-
Yep.
No, Hasbro's not going to pay to put 1 or 2 barges in every store.
Oh man.
Yeah, people look at those vintage photos. They're like, "Oh, wall to wall Star Wars."
Yeah.
It's, dude, that's not how it works anymore.
No,
And-
Yeah,
you
and-
rent your space to sell your
Okay,
shit,
so
and
check
you
it
get a
out. So,
process off of it.
Explain that because all these throwback pictures and it's a fucking wall of Kenner. So explain the difference,
Thanks.
like now then till now.
It's like living in the valley and living in Beverly Hills, man. The prices go up, you know. It's the rental fee.
So, dude,
Oh,
was
it's
it like,
real. You're right. I mean, that's a good analogy. It's real estate, and that's just the nature of that beast, anyways. Now, it's not like, you know, back then I think toy stores were kind of just grateful to have, you know, like just to say Kenner dump a ton of stuff in a full aisle because not that they didn't know any better, they didn't really have a choice, right? I mean, think about it. But before it became this crazy beast, you know, where all these major retailers, it was like a lot of mom and pop, you know, toy stores, regional stuff. I mean, people from Ohio.
That was the beginning of it.
Crazy toy stores back there.
No one knew back then that you can rent those spots to sell those toys.
Yeah.
It was just, give us everything, we'll make money off of it. Wait a second. Why are we putting all these toys here when all these other franchises are coming out? Who's going to pay the most for what franchise is going to pay the most for the rental space? There you go. It's the same thing when you go to a convention. Who's going to pay for this booth? You know, who's going to pay for Lucas? Who's going to pay for the Lucas Pavilion? I'm sure it'd be a lot bigger if they fucking let other, you know, beat vendors and stuff go over it. It's the exact same thing. You're renting your space. You're putting your product there, and a lot of the times the buyer that works there doesn't want necessarily only Star Wars because they have to see what is the trend. What's going to be the biggest movie coming out? And it's not like that anymore. Where it's like, oh, okay, well, we're getting ready for Frozen 2. Yeah, The Last Jedi. There you go.
Dude, was it? It's how many years of Marvel movies? Like, dude, just stock fucking Marvel. That shit.
They
Right?
didn't want to do a Force Friday for Solo.
Check it out. I
Because
looked
the
at,
Force sales in stock of toys.
Yeah.
I looked at the WWE website, and you go to their business page. They talk about like how much product they move. Bro, they're fucking moving so much shit, toys, stationery, all kinds of shit, dude. Whereas like Star Wars is, and you know, I was like, okay, you go to Target. I don't even go to stores to look at toys anymore. Like that's fucking gone. But dude, when I used to go, it's like you would see like the Star Wars shit empty because they didn't get anything.
Yeah.
But the WWE stuff is empty because fucking people bought everything, dude.
Yeah.
You're looking at two totally empty fucking sections, but empty for a different reason.
Actually, the last couple times I've gone to a local Target for me, they've actually had some decent Black Series figures in decent condition. I was like, nobody even messed these ones up. Nobody even.
They had probably just stocked you luck.
Yeah.
No, but like the Marvel section.
Yeah.
You can't find
all that Marvel
It's-
stuff, dude.
They only have like.
It's so weird, but it makes so much sense when you really look at the bigger picture of it. Because I know a lot of what people complain about now is like, oh well, you know, it's the company it's not really Hasbro's fault at all.
No,
It's not.
and you
I
have
would
to
say it's
diversify
probably
your portfolio, man. Think
If it was
about that.
them, they want to put as much as they possibly can, so everybody can see it with their eyes and buy as many of it as possible. And it's also sometimes buyers have the opportunity to pick waves.
Right.
It's at the point now where a buyer can be like, well, I want 4 of these troopers in this and this and this wave. And they're like, okay, because we have to. We have to do that.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck are we going to say? No. No, we have to. And then sometimes stuff gets canceled. I think there was like some exclusive figures on the stuff that gets canceled because eventually the buyer's like, oh, well, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. You know what I mean? Stuff gets canceled. It's not Hasbro's fault. It's because cost, margin, manufacturer, rental fee, and then, you know, exclusive costs. You go to one store when another store wants to bid on something different and give us more money, we can stay in business.
And you know, too, I was going to say, it just hit me that I think the retro line technically isn't supposed to be out yet. Like, but everyone's getting them now saying, I just asked, and the guy went to the back, came out, and here you fucking go.
That's very true. I do that too when I look for stuff.
Yeah, like I noticed that. Like, but that's just the retailers. They don't give a shit.
No,
like,
the retailers care because they have certain contracts of stuff supposed to be released. The employees don't give a fuck though. The employees don't care.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
You see shit like people ringing shit up at Target on sale before its release date.
And you know, I respect so much the employees that go in the back and do stuff like that because man, there have been times where just like, fuck no, you fucking old dude. Like, I'm not gonna stop fuck you. Like, no, seriously, it's so fucking funny. Like, I remember
that retro.
I was this kid doing this, and people would do it all the time for me. But then I realized I'm not that kid anymore, and I'm older, and I'm asking for that. And it's kind of weird to me now to be like, hey, I got the DCPI number. Will you go in the back? It's like,
hey, check out my brick seat.
No,
Here you go.
it's really used to work for me all the time now, but it's like, fuck, dude, I'm at that age now where I'm kind of just like, fuck, I can't. If it works, I'm like, I feel pathetic after kind of sometimes. Kind of like, fuck, that worked. But I'm like,
touching on that, touching on that is okay, dude. Like,
I'm not passionate about what you love, dude.
Yeah.
You're just passionate.
You know what? You're
That's
taking
why-
one for the
that's
team,
why I
Tony.
think we
You're
get to that
taking
point
one
where
for
we
the
need to-
team.
What?
You're taking one for the team, man, because you know what? I'll sit in my underwear in my chair and click buy, and that's what I do.
I know. It's worth paying that extra $5 now to save me the embarrassment of going to the store and being like,
Dude,
I got the number. We go look at the back. Hey, how come
It really is.
It's like, fuck. I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna, you know what the fucked up part is too, dude? I'm not even trying to sell some of these because it's like, it's not a job. It's like, I just want them.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I was flipping them and it was like my side business, it'd be like, oh, this is, I have to go fight to do this. But now it's like, I just want them now. I don't want to have to wait for
It's a
shipping.
hobby.
Well,
I can't wait. Yeah.
That's for my kid.
Yeah.
You're paying the
Meanwhile, my
humiliation
daughter's
tax
like,
right
Dad,
there.
why are we looking at these? I want to go look at the frozen
Yeah.
toys.
Oh man.
But also think about time, gas, like the hunt, like all
The
that.
hunt is fun,
The
though.
hunt is fun, but I'm saying like if
Is it though? Is it really? Is it still fun?
No, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
fun.
I'm with
horrible.
you.
Listen,
It is
Wait,
not.
wait,
But
hold
I
on.
get it.
I'm gonna say if you're gonna end up spending all that time driving around anyway, and then needing to end up just going and fucking buying it online anyway, then no, it's not fun.
I try
you go.
not to buy stuff online, and I know I spend more in gas and time than it would. But this is the thing. The last time, which was the worst
Oh,
time for
that's
me,
so
is
funny.
when the newest archive figures came out, and I was like, dude, I want the IG-8 and the Boss, because then I'll have
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
dude, I fucking call the store, and they fucking go put a case out. They're like, oh, we're going to have someone to meet you over there. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Wow.
So I go to the fucking Target. The Raymer Target in Van Nuys, by the way. Fucking props to them. So I get there. Motherfucker's not coming. And I've been there like 10 minutes. I'm like, let me go ask the electronic guy. So I go like, hey, man, somebody was just like, what am I doing, Tony? Stop. Oh, but some guy who said, they told me they're going to bring like a box of toys for him for the back. And the guy's like,
Wow.
he's probably like 18. And I'm just like
Yeah.
a young kid. I'm just like,
He's probably
what the
older.
fuck is going on? But anyways, I'm waiting, and then eventually some guy's like, oh, I'll help you out. Oh, yeah, I'll go get it for you. Comes and gets me the box, and I'm just like,
Wow.
looking at me, and I'm like, well, I only need these two. And he's just staring at me, just like, what the fuck? I'm like, I just want these two. And he's like, you don't want the whole box? And I'm like, no, I just want these two. He's like, oh, I thought you just wanted like the whole box. I said, you don't resell them? Those are his words.
Oh shit.
I'm like,
Yeah.
And then I felt even more pathetic because I was like, no, these
No, I'm
no,
not trying to make money.
these are just for
I'm just
me.
trying to collect
I'm like,
them.
yeah, like that was fucked up. Like I'm not trying to do anything with this. I'm just trying to put it in my own collection. I was just like, oh fuck you, dude. You're a dick. You like ripped me apart and made me rethink my entire life and everything. So I was like, yeah, dude, I just online only now.
Broke you.
Online
By
only
the
now.
Target stock boy.
But yeah,
Target
it's Ego
stock
Master.
boy,
I
yeah.
told you to go get them right after. And that's him. He's down there. Ego Master. I told him like, hey dude, they left them for you. He got the rest. He swooped up.
Nice, nice.
That was the last
Yeah.
time I did it. And I was just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah, I got them because
I felt
Tony hooked you up.
I know it's a very true story. I felt destroyed from
Hunting
it.
shame.
Props to you guys who do it because for whatever reason the
Fuck
rush
you.
or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm over it, and like you guys are saying, time. Sometimes it's time. I'm over here hiding.
Yeah.
I'm over here hiding in the back room because my kids are probably looking for me in the main house, and yeah, pretty soon they're gonna open this garage, and I'm gonna be, totally busted.
Oh,
But
you're fine.
it was. Go ahead.
What do you collect? What do you? So I know.
Like your primary.
You know what? Modern, and then I mean, it's usually the weird stuff of vintage, right? I always tell people, I had a pretty cool childhood. I had a ton of the stuff. Like pop-up R2, I played with that. I played with, hand and carbonite. So like, I get it. I totally get it when people are like, oh man, I never had this as a kid. I have to have it. Cool. I think I look at the cost and I think of like, already I had my fun with it. So cool. For me,
Nice. Okay.
that ship has sailed, right? But the modern stuff, which is kind of cool. Like Romeo was saying, I not only do my kids play with it, I mess with it. I have students that I try to, get them into Star Wars because all they care about is like Minecraft and Fortnite and all that crap, and
Bastards.
they have no imagination, It's so, I try to make it touch as many hands as possible because, I mean, if without these new generations into it, I mean, then Hasbro does, or at least that part of Hasbro doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
Then Star Wars just dies off, I guess,
Hey man, we gotta support Weezer. You know what I mean? We gotta support Hasbro.
I brought my corporate sellout tour shirt back. Look for the guy at Target wearing the faded corporate sellout tour shirt, man. That's the Star Wars section. That's me, man, right there.
Dude, the biggest thing in the world though is those DCPI and UPC numbers that like Yak Face posts, Kylo Ren fucking dude, so much props to those guys who do that because it makes all the difference when I'm out there trying to get those figures and fucking dealing with kids that are 18 years old having to deal with me. It sucks, dude. I used to be that fucking kid. Now I'm that fucking
I'm telling you guys, Amazon's a beautiful thing, or eBay or whatever, man. You know what?
But it takes 2 days. Where's the
guys?
Every time I've ever bought a figure off Amazon, it's never come in good condition.
No, you're right. And you know what? I'm biased because I open everything. So you're right. It doesn't make a difference to me. But I see all the sob stories posted online, and people get upset, and I totally get it because they're mint and package collectors. And again, hey, props to you guys for dealing with Franks, man. Franks is crazy, man. You know, there's never any air conditioner on.
No.
You know, there's the guy outside.
Dude, I'm gonna just start calling it the sauna or the spa because it's fucking rough, dude.
It's nasty. It's nasty, and you know, most people want way too much. You guys seem to have found, you know, some cool people to connect with. But back when I used to go, man, people were the worst. They were arrogant. I
promise you this. They're still the worst, and they're still hot in there.
Yeah.
There's just maybe 3 people out of fucking like 400 inside there, and it's all crammed. 400 people are crammed. But we never go to the west side where all the magic card guys are.
No.
We don't touch that territory.
No.
We never touch that. We don't cross those lines. You know, we did a walk the other day just to kind of see what was going on, but
You didn't go there.
we're on this side. They're on that side. We separated. So yeah.
Yeah, you might walk into like a full-on like LARP battle or something,
dude.
Catch an axe to a head or something. Don't do that, man. You don't want to.
I could shoot a whole documentary film on just that side in one day.
Oh,
It would blow people's minds. I could get every one of their moms to like talk and do a testimony because they're right there. They're either there or they're in the parking lot. That's why all the cars are there because they're not parked. Their moms are dropping them off.
Oh man. Another thing, the parking. I don't miss the parking either. Oh
no. You gotta go on Wednesday.
No, dude, you gotta be good with Frank, dude. You get your own VIP spot.
Oh man.
No, I go on Wednesdays because Saturday, remember Tim? He drove like an hour and a half and he was gonna leave.
Dude, man, seeing his art, he showed up. He drove from Riverside. He gets there and he's like, I'm fucking leaving. I'm like, dude, you'll find something. I'm fucking done.
The parking lot fucked him up.
20 minutes later, he's like, comes in. He's just like, it was raining, and he's just like, a fucking mother. I was like, damn, dude. Like, and that's a dude who's like ripped. And I'm like, fuck, he's gonna kill someone right now if they look at him weird. But fuck the parking.
People that have never dealt with it don't know what to make of it. They're just like, what is this place? Or they're like, hey, this is the best place I've ever seen in my life. You know?
Yeah, but then they come back again and realize it wasn't.
Yeah. You know, I just want to go back and see the McDonald's collection that Frank has.
Still there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go sit with Ronald on the bench, you know, and just hang out. Forget it. Hey, guys.
We're going to...
go ahead.
It's left, so...
I'm being summoned. The kids found me. The garage is open. They're trying to get to me. But hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out.
Cool coming on, dude.
All right, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I'll have to meet up with you guys one of these days, man. I thought that was really cool what you guys did at the Sherman. I thought that was pretty rad.
Yeah. So. Thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, keep fighting the good fight, man.
See you, brother. Take care now.
Hey,
take care, buddy.
Take care, bye.
Long and prosper.
What a dick move to go out on.
What? He's fucking cool. He knows I'm an asshole. No, but that was the best part because we always joke about like bands and certain stuff. He has really good taste in music, so I'm always like, you know, Weezer or something comes out.
Oh yeah, really good taste.
But yeah. Sorry. See, that's the thing. Weezer is like the fucking Hasbro, like the band. Like you support that band, you know, even though you grew up with them. They were they were great at one point. You know, you still support them. And every once in a while, they kick something good. You know what I mean? Support that band. They're gonna give you something good every once in a while. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at Hasbro and collecting toys.
15 years.
Hey man, I'm fucking kicking ass, and I got that barge right now, so I'm pretty happy. And then soon I'll have a Tarkin. Soon I'll have a Tarkin. Fucking another one.
Just wait till like Probably Monday, Tuesday. You'll find
Where's that art that fucking Darth Cantu and Big Red? Where are those things really?
These guys
slick?
right here.
I know we started this like 2 minutes ago, but yeah. Check these out, guys. So we're going to be putting these on our website because they did all the work. We sold for $40. I'm just kidding.
I was like, yeah, let's go.
No, this is amazing. Pinkerton's the shit, man. You can say what would be equivalent from Pinkerton, Weezer's Pinkertons to Star Wars toys back in the 80s?
Pikachu was dope, dude.
I would say
Jar Jar toy.
no. There's something that's got to be there. It's got to be like one of the play sets. I would say like Land of the Jawa fucking play sets, like the Pinkerton.